Greetings, everybody. Greetings, gentlemen. This is I'm a Potato coming from the Kingdom of Nonsensica. Once again, we have another MGTOW video. Now, of course, we're going to have a lot of MGTOW videos. Why? Because there's a shitload of misbehaved women out there. That's why. Another one, a mother of two, prison guard, 39 years old, had sex in a cupboard. That must be some very odd Pornhub sequel to Indian in a Cupboard. She had sex in a cupboard during an 18-month affair with murderer serving life for killing World War II veteran. Okay, I'm not a smart man, but I am a wise man, which means I fucked up and I have experience. So I'm going to impart some sage advice onto you fellows. See, the problem that good men have is they're so unaware. Sex is such a heroin addictive drug, right? Vagina, once your penis goes into a vagina, for some reason, it's like a hit of heroin. And listen, save heroin for when you're 90 years old and it doesn't matter anymore, right? Go out on a bang. However, during your early days, you got to make sure that you're mentally prepared before you start having sexual intercourse, and this goes for girls as well. And this is a big problem with these women nowadays. It's too readily available, and they do it before they're emotionally mature. Not that they grow up anymore from an emotional level, because everything's handed to them. When everything's handed to you, you become Veronica Salt from Willy Wonka. I was going to say Harry Potter. What the hell am I talking about? So what happens is that these misbehaving women will actually pick you out from the herd. You're the limping antelope. Just like female lions. They'll pick you out of the herd. And that was happening with this guy, this gentleman, which I really hate the fact that they put his picture on here. First of all, you're not only going to tell this man, the man's not a good-looking man, but, you're not only going to tell this man that this ugly warthog cheated on him, you're going to post it right on the Daily Mail. And herein lies my second piece of sage advice for you. This man is now humiliated because of his wife's actions. Do you really want to live with that? It also shows that women tend to go for the violent, over-aggressive male. It happens all the time. It reminds me of this article I read online one time about this white knight. He was doing an article about negging, that pickup artist routine. And there was this woman in there that was saying, "Oh, it's so horrible," and all this kind of stuff. They say horrible things. And she was like, "Well, I fell for it. I've been feeling quite low. I ended a long-term relationship." He came up to me. He said something like, "You're a bit less hot than your friend, but it's okay because I fancy you." So she went home and slept with him. Now, the first thing is, what you should be asking is not because this Crompton guy. So this guy, look at this dork. Better looking than her husband, of course, younger. But not only you're going to have to ask why the heck she would go with this individual, but you have to ask who put the legislation in to let female guards guard violent men. This man was in a high secure prison that actually had some other people from England that are, I guess, well known. Millie Dollar Killer. I don't know who that is, but if they're saying them by name, then, people are going to sit there and go, ooh, those people are bad news. So this one, 39-year-old frumpy lady, looks like Dobby the housewife from Dobby the house elf from Harry Potter, is guarding violent criminals. And this guy broke into the home where Mr. Worsley had lived since 1949 through an upstairs window, looking for cash to continue his Friday night cocaine binge. After the attack, he was able to tell officers before he died, "This incident really frightened me. I thought the male was never going to stop hitting me. No person has a right to enter my home and take my belongings and hit me." Oh, of course he doesn't, sir. You fought well for England, and England is not exactly what you would call England anymore. So, anyways, this horrible woman got Crompton to ask for a transfer to reduce the risk of them being caught, and even visited him there despite the possibility of being recognized. She arranged for him to be allowed to call her phones from prison, assuming a false name, and frequently wrote to him. So here's what happens, gentlemen. If you don't have a woman that constantly is chasing you and is the one giving you multiple messages, I think I heard it was probably Reddit relationship advice. That's always good for a laugh. Where a guy was sitting there going, yeah, she's okay with me and everything, but, an old friend from high school stopped over, and I guess he's a little taller than me, and they got along real well the first night, when I invited him over, and she asked for his number, and then, of course, he had to snoop, and he goes, oh, I feel really bad for snooping. Jesus, man. When are you good guys gonna sit there and cut the bullshit? Who gives a shit? If you think for a second, I hate that thing where, well, if there's no trust, there's no relationship. Listen, if you have a gut feeling and if things don't look right, you have a reason not to trust. Okay? You have every right to solidify your trust. 9 times out of 10, your gut's right, and you're going to find something that'll actually let you end the relationship. Most people will sit there, well, why didn't you end the relationship? Oh, well, why? Maybe it'll teach you something. However, it usually doesn't. First of all, if I ever have an inkling of a doubt about a woman, I stop. That's it. She's gone. She's done with me. I'm really not going to play these games anymore. I'm too old to do so. However, so that guy looked and he found out that his girlfriend, who was hanging around him, using his resources, was always messaging this guy. They were already sleeping. They were sleeping together 2 days after the visit to the house. So they were already banging behind his back. A guy that was, trying to be a guy he reached out to be a friend to. And his girlfriend. And so she's doing this, and he's like, the worst part is he's just giving her one-word answers and blowing her off until he says, hey, come on over. That's it. Come on over. I want to bang you. And that is what this Wellburn actually with Crompton. She didn't care for conversation. She didn't care for this. And that's the thing where women have rules and, rules for you, but they'll break them for the bad boys. They'll break them for the ones that get them all tingly and they're sexually attracted to. And that's exactly what happened with this woman. So there's another flag. So if a woman starts giving you a couple of rules, well, I don't do this, and I don't do that, and you have to do this, and you have to, just end it. Really. You'll save yourself a whole bunch of aggravation. Or mentally and emotionally disconnect from that woman. So that's my advice right there. So she arranged him to call her from prison. So summer 2000, the relationship cooled, and Crompton told an officer he'd been having an affair with a female guard. So she got too clingy, and he said, Jesus, I'm done with this old bitch. I can't handle her anymore, He goes, sex is okay, but good God. If you're a man in prison for life and you give up pussy, there's got to be something wrong with that woman. Of course, she's got a female lawyer. Or a female, what do they call them over there in England? Constable? No, that's the police officer. I don't know what the hell it's in the back of my mind. And as usual, just like comebacks that I remember like a week later after an altercation, I remember this. Barrister is the lawyer in the UK. Not only is this woman... Okay, so this guy doesn't look that big. He's probably, I don't know, maybe 5'8", something. But look at it. This woman's huge. She has a penumbra around this gentleman. And, yes, I do know that word, penumbra. That's one of those words. Anybody ever have words that just stick in their craw? I got that one. I got persnickety. I have, what else do I have? Scallywag. Scoundrel. The one circumlocution, circumlocution, which means you keep on talking. Axiomatic is another one. I get all these words that I never use, but they're stuck in there. And I try to use them when I can. So that's what I use here. A penumbra, if you don't know, penumbra is just like, if you look at like a solar eclipse, that's how I found that word out. One of my friends told me. I guess he was studying astronomy. And he's like, oh yeah, that when the sun's peeking out, that illumination behind the moon during an eclipse, that's the penumbra. I was like, okay, well that's never going to go away. But anyways, I digress once again. So not only is England on its way down, even faster than America, by the way, they're going to be the melting point. So they're going to fail as a country, and then America's coming next. I mean they're having female guards guard violent criminals. There's just a matter of time before they escape. We had a couple here in America that escaped, where the woman was having an affair with them as well. She got a slap on the wrist, of course, and one of those guys got killed when he was escaping. So there you go. So even when it comes to that fact, men get the hardest part. You know, even when they were trying to use her to escape, she gets a slap on the wrist, and one of them gets killed, and the other one's sent up for life. But the thing is not only do you have to question this, but you have to question what kind of how much taxpayer dollars in the UK are going to give prisons cupboards that could fit this person in there. Anyways, that's me for another MGTOW moment, reminding you to stay classy, stay single, and stay goal-oriented, my MGTOW brothers. Ad Victoriam.